Well, by golly, here we are. And here she is walking in the studio.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you know we're going here.
I do. I
Okay,
figured you
just
were.
checking, making sure you knew.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you smell good.
Well, that's nice.
It's good.
Good thing.
It's an uplifting odor.
Well, that's good.
It beats the other kind.
That's right.
Which is normal for me. Oh my gosh.
What?
Just bam, everything's happening.
Things going on.
Well, the whole world is, in Australia and
Right.
here and there and everywhere, all around the world.
All around the world stuff is going on. It's really amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
tell me a couple things.
Mike, go ahead. Mike's the
I know about
the news
the-
man.
Of course, you got the Australia thing.
I got
You
that.
got
Okay.
the shooting at Brown. Apparently, in Massachusetts, there's a bunch of stuff going on. There's
Rob Reiner and his
stuff going
wife
on
got
in
killed
the-
by
in
their
the
own
UK.
son. Yeah, the UK.
right.
What's going on in the UK?
And some famous singer who I'm not familiar with at all was just killed by his son yesterday as well.
Come on.
really? I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, I'm locking myself in my room. I got 3 sons.
Yeah, but
Wow.
They all been
This is
calling me
horrible.
lately. I don't know what's going on. Where are you, Dad? Oh, I'm on my boat out in the ocean.
yeah,
Well,
Yikes.
it's not funny
in
though. It's very
Timbuktu.
sad.
Timbuktu. No, but you know what? I mean, listen. Wow. I mean, what do you do about this stuff in the world? It's just really.
Well, what you don't do is you don't send a mocking Truth Social post.
Well,
You know.
that
Alan
one-
would.
Oh, I probably would, but it wouldn't have been that one. So he's talking about the one that Trump put out. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, he's like, you just have to read it.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Well-
I'll read it to you.
Go ahead. Go
all right,
ahead.
do
Do
it.
it. Do it.
says, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others by his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome.
You believe that?
It's funny, but it's not true. The guy did have Trump derangement syndrome, but you don't know that that's the cause of the.
No.
Oh my
circumstance.
gosh,
So-
Trump.
So then it says sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known for having driven people crazy by his raging obsession with President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And
Oh no.
with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace, which should have been the entire tweet, by the way.
That last
Trump.
5, 6, 7 words, whatever. That was
Yeah.
all he needed to do.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's
But-
not a good look. I'm telling you, it's not
it
good at
isn't.
all.
No.
No, it isn't.
So
No, by the way, the rumor of the sun transitioning, wrong. Also, rumor rampant on social media that Rob Reiner publicly mocked Charlie Kirk's assassination. Not true. The inverse is actually true. He was
Oh.
on Piers Morgan and spoke very highly of Erica Kirk and said what a tragedy it was. And I'm not a Rob Reiner fan. I think his politics were bad,
Mhm.
but let's not make stuff up that fits a narrative that we like, and then we just hear it.
yeah.
And
Like
then we just
Candace.
repeat it like this is just fitting our
Yeah.
narrative here.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no indication. If you can find some indication that Rob Reiner's son was trans, then please post that.
Trans,
but
trans.
otherwise don't.
So if he was trans, meaning that he was a man acting as a woman, you wouldn't
Right.
think he wore a
here's the
beard.
thing. This guy was like 31, 32, something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh wow.
So he sort of missed that whole era where, he was young enough to be immersed in that whole trans change ideology. That was
Right.
mostly a lot of adolescent people coming up in the last maybe
He's a
7-8
Hollywood
years.
kid. He's a Hollywood kid, and
The
they
Hollywood
don't
kid with
do
a
well.
drug problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Very
thank you, Mike.
sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's madness. Madness. Yep.
Indeed.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Okay,
Here we
you're
go.
good to go.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Here we go.
Ready?
Welcome back. No, one more time. Welcome to another edition of Perilous World Radio. I'm Alan Masters, my wife Jan sitting here with me. It's a mad, mad, mad world, and a very perilous world.
Yes.
I
it
remember
is.
as a kid, that movie, It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World.
Mhm.
Comedy, of course. What is going on in our world today is not a comedy. It's a tragedy. And what is sad about it is that it's not going to get better anytime soon. I mean, this is where we're at for a while. It takes a long time. I was reading something that a business person put up today on social media. It was just early this morning. It said, to make a success out of anything, it takes between 7 and 10 years. And the vast majority of people give up in 2 years. And so I'll take that same type of equation and apply it to how many years it's going to take to fix, if there is a fix, without the coming of Christ anyway. If there's a fix, it's going to take, from this point. So Trump's been in office 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll take the rest of his term, 3 more years, plus another term, maybe 4, which is 7 to 10 years. Right? 7.
Right.
If it is even humanly possible to fix, because nobody's talking about enough. I shouldn't say nobody's talking about. They are not talking about enough about the genesis of where this kind of stuff comes from, which is mental illness, which starts at a very young age in the home, the broken homes of Americans and around the world. The nuclear family has been nuclear destroyed.
Been nuked.
It's been nuked.
Yeah.
And that is
True.
the cause. Because even though Jan and I have been together for 44 years and married coming up on 40 this next year here in the middle of the year, our children, who are all under 40, by no means are they perfect.
Well,
Nobody's perfect. What I'm saying is that we have been perfect. Come on, Jan, admit it.
Holy moly.
No, but what I'm saying is that we tried. We really put an honest effort to bring up good
I think
people.
we've been pretty successful.
We've been pretty successful, and they're pretty good. But I watch each and every one of them struggle spiritually, physically, mentally, mental illness, all the. You watch it all.
Extreme.
Not extreme.
Not extreme.
But you would
any
think,
more than you?
No, of course. That's what I'm saying. I had the same exact
The mind virus. No.
struggle. Life is a struggle. I used to say to my kids,
And it's supposed to be.
It is supposed to be. But I used to say to the kids, I'd go, listen, if a chicken laid an egg and the chicken inside the egg did not struggle and kick its way out of the egg, it would die inside. This struggle, as you just said, is supposed to be a struggle. It is not supposed to be easy. It is supposed to be difficult. And through the difficulties of your life, the trials and tribulations of your life, the foolish things you do in your life comes, I was going to say bitterness, but I was going to say understanding. It's one of the two. You're either better or you're bitter. But what has to come out of it is understanding of, oh, I caused this.
And a turning.
I caused it because the first things that happen is blame. It's like you're the chicken. Let's just for a moment, chicken inside the egg. You're like, you become conscious. You become conscious 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, whatever it is. And you're like, what am I doing inside this egg? The egg is what's called the egg, your home. You're home. Your parents are like, no, you can't go out with your friends. No, you can't spend the night at your friend's house. No, you can't go see R-rated movies. No, you can't go out with that girl. No, you can't go out with those guys. It's no, you can't eat that. No, you can't do this. It's like you're inside the egg and you become aware and you're like, why are they keeping me from being me, who I am, who I want to be?
That was Eve.
Well, I'm just saying
I'm breaking out of this prison.
Right. It's Adam and Eve both. But that's the egg. And it's like, so you start kicking and kicking and kicking. And imagine, being in an egg. And that's really what it feels like. It feels like that's why this is such a good analogy, because you really have to kick. Imagine you've seen the thickness of the egg. You hold the egg in your hand and imagine being a little tiny thing inside of that. And you've got to kick your way out, but you don't have room to run up against the wall.
God gave him the little pointy beak, just enough that could peck a hole.
Well, I don't know whether it's a beak. I don't know. How do they know? Maybe they have to watch inside. What do they use to get out of there? Is it their beak or is it just the sheer strength of their legs at some point? I mean, they've got to fight out of that egg. And then they get out into the world and there's a fox. There's a hawk waiting. There's a dog, a cat. There's all these things that are waiting out there for them. But they think like, I'm out. I'm free. And they're running around. I've seen fish eat baby chickens and baby ducks. Wow. It's like everything wants to consume them in this world. And that's our children. They get out of the house and they're angry. Now look at what happened with Rob Reiner. And they have not made the final official announcement that the Rob Reiner, the actor and the producer, his son has killed him and his wife. But that seems to be the popular opinion through all the social media, and who cares? But more than likely, because
it's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy.
Anytime a child kills a parent.
Well, and it happens like 600 times a year is the statistic.
Wow.
And so
around the world or in our country?
I don't know if it's around the world, but it's 600 times a year that children kill their parents. What is going on there? So what happens is we try our best. We try our best to say, no, you can't eat that. No, you can't go there. No, not that movie, not that cartoon. And it's like, look, remember when life was simple? Look at today when they've got pornography and ugly things in little schools for little 4 years old plus to read about homosexuality and all these things in their school library. Imagine if that was, my dad would have gone nuts over that. Yeah. But what he said, and the reason why this show is even named Perilous World Radio is because he talked about it's a perilous world. And it has become even worse than what I ever thought. He was
always ringing the bell.
He was.
Ringing the bell out there. Wow. Wake up, people. Your dad was on the radio for 50 years?
55
plus years. During a time, it's different right now. Right now, there's thousands and thousands of voices out there speaking the truth because we have social media. But in your dad's day, he just had the radio. Yeah. And he was a voice on the radio and
live events, but yes.
But he was saying all of the unpopular things against culture. Culture was the religion and still is to many people. Everything that's cool, the movies, entertainment, do what you want, free sex, abortions. But your dad was out there holding the line of don't be swayed. There is a good and evil. Don't listen to culture. And he really affected a lot of people out there. But Jesus said
the same things. I came to free you from religion, from the Pharisees, from the religiosity of it all, because a lot of these people that go to church Monday or Sunday, Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, are those people that are going home and not living it at home. And I'm not pointing my finger at everybody, but I kind of am because, we're hypocrites. All of us hypocrites with our children. Do as I say, not as I do. sitting there smoking and drinking. No, you can't smoke. No, little boy, you can't smoke. And you shouldn't drink, as he takes a puff and takes a drink off of his evening, drink to take the whatever it is. Why do people drink? It's to take the pressure off. The edge is what I was looking for. What is the edge? What is the edge?
The edginess.
Because they're edgy, because they're angry, hateful, resentful of the job they have, the people they're working with. They don't know how to deal with it.
It's under your skin.
This is why my dad started the foundation of human understanding, because we don't understand what to do. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. Hence the reason why Jesus said, forgive them, Father, because they don't know what they don't know. For they know not what they do. All right, we'll take a little break. Wow. So I'll say it. Rob Reiner and his wife, God rest their soul. That's all that Trump needed to say, and he went too far. That's my opinion. I don't agree with everything he says. We'll take a little break and be right back. It's Perilous World Radio. Alan and Jan Masters. So Donald Trump, I love the guy. He's as bold and bodacious as they come.
He makes mistakes,
but he makes mistakes,
and
too.
He's got an ego, too.
He's got a big, fat ego. And I got to tell you something. That guy's ego was like... What a bunch of raging bulls.
Did Rob Reiner direct Princess Bride?
Yes, he did. He actually
he did something good.
He did a bunch of good movies. I should say good movies, very entertaining. And
I did not know that.
That's why Donald Trump, in his little tirade thing that he put, he said he used to be a talented director and comedian, but it doesn't matter. He went on his tweet that he did, or whatever it is, his truth tweet, whatever, social, went too far.
He made it about him.
He made it
about Trump.
There are lingering narcissistic, egotistical qualities that still linger in him. And you know what? Do we give him a mulligan?
Oh, man. Because I wonder if his wife is going to get on him for that.
I believe she will. I believe she will.
You know what?
There's no PR involved in that.
You don't need to pound your chest when somebody dies. You don't need to do that.
That's right. There's no PR agency involved in that. He probably said, I'm going to say what I want to say. The guy's a jerk and I don't like him, but God rest his soul. But I don't agree with that. I don't agree with everything he does. I don't agree with everything he says. There's people out there that are like, well, he's our guy. Well, he is our guy, but our guy makes mistakes sometimes. He's human. But it's okay. We're all human. We're not going to crucify him because of just a blurt. And let me tell you, that Rob Reiner, he has had many blurts about Donald Trump. So it's a parting shot on his death. It's not, it don't look good on you, Don. No. Anyway, I've said enough about that. I just wanted to say that. But back to the genesis of all of this. I have a friend staying with us right now from out of town. He's from Hollywood. And he was sharing with me some of the stuff that, child actors go through, because he was one. And it's horrifying. The fact that these studio heads do what they do and did what they did, and it's been going on forever and ever and ever and ever, and it's going on today still, I'll guarantee it. It's wicked.
It's indoctrination, a culture of corruption and filth.
Indoctrination and, yes, corruption. It is evil to the highest degree to corrupt children. To the highest degree. Pisses God off, I'll guarantee that. I mean, I can't imagine God getting mad, but I think he doesn't like that.
You know how Jesus said he's a fisher of men, right? But so is Satan.
Yeah.
And so it's a competition in a way. And Satan, the evil one, has tools of this world. And I was talking to your friend, and one of his crown jewels of the enemy is Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Because it is held up as the goal, fame, fortune. How many people have a dream of going and being in the movies and being an actor?
Oh, yeah.
That is the dream. But they don't know what's waiting there is the enemy in every different facet you can think of, from child molestations to women, you have to sleep with somebody to get a role in a movie.
But they place no value on that right there. The people, the young people, their values are upside down. You mean I can do this, which takes half an hour, and my whole life will go? All right, I'll give up a half an hour of my life and my body.
Oh, and
for
many famous people have said even how they sold their soul to the devil to get fame and fortune.
Yeah.
So it is, movies. Everybody goes to the movies, and you're a kid, you're watching movies, and the people on the big screen seem bigger than life. They say they're on a pedestal. And so it's this big lure, Hollywood, and yet it is full of darkness. It is a fake, phony way of achieving happiness.
So I was talking to my friend the other day and asked him about another friend in Hollywood. And I said, whatever happened to this guy? And he says, oh, you didn't hear? And it's kind of the same story. He got in trouble for womanizing, and he was married with children and had some sort of a class action lawsuit against me. He goes, I can't believe you didn't hear about that. I'm like, I don't follow, all these people I've met in my lifetime. It's just, you'd have to be crazy just to watch people suffering in their lives, because there's so much suffering. So I live my life. And when I hear about these sad stories, I think, oh, thank God I have cows. But I was so sad because, he and I both agreed that this guy was a really great guy. He was
still alive?
He's still alive.
Okay.
But he was a really great guy, and he was really good at what he did. And it's like Rob Reiner making the Princess Bride and Spinal Tap and all these different movies. And When Harry Met Sally, and he was, I didn't know that till now.
Yeah.
And Princess Bride was hilarious. It was brilliantly produced.
Yeah.
From a completely insane leftist guy. But I was sad to hear that my other friend that I hadn't talked about, or even two in a decade or more, that his life spiraled out of control. Because what does it say? Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. People rise to a place, and we'll call them celebrity. They rise up, and a celebrity can be a businessman. He's a celebrity, he's making billions of dollars, whatever. Celebrity. And then all of a sudden it goes to the head and the ego. And look at Donald Trump there. He is the leader of the free world. And he's still belching out these silly things,
Yeah.
And I was thinking about a young guy that's working for me the other day. I was actually today, I was thinking about him. And I love this kid. I just love him. He's 21 years old. He's got this beautiful glow about him. And he's always smiling, and he looks at you and he smiles. His teeth are beautiful, and he smiles his beautiful smile, and he's like pulling something out. He's like, it's almost like he's fishing. So I said to him, I go, what are you smiling about? He goes, because I'm happy. Is it okay if I smile? And he smiles, that big smile. I go, but are you? I said, are you really happy? Because I know his at home ain't good.
Yeah.
I know that he's living with a friend. It's not good. He's trying to make ends meet. He's a young guy. He's putting on the face to the world.
How did he answer?
And he had this little speaker on his side that was playing music all the time. Did I tell them on Sunday? I think I talked about this. Anyway, I said, do me a favor, turn off that music. I go, let's talk about this stuff. But we put on a facade for the world. But what are we really like? Only God really knows. We'll be right back. All right, I said something going out of that commercial break. Only God really knows what we're really like. You know who else knows? We know. We know. We know the suffering. We know the pain. We know the fears. We know the doubts. We know the anger. We know the hate. We know, even though we smile to the world. And my little friend, he smiles to the world. He's always happy, works really hard. But talking about this 21-year-old guy that works for me. He's just delightful. And I just love him. I really do. And then I thought, do I just love him because he's so happy all the time? He's like a happy pill. I'm going to take him with because he makes me happy. We're always happy. We're dancing and talking and playing music and happy.
Do you sense it's not real from him?
Well, I don't sense it's not real. I know who doesn't want to be happy?
Yeah.
He wants to be happy, so he's fake it till you make it happy, right? And he's just going to power through. But underneath there is molestation from his own father, of him and his brother and other family members. And his father's a preacher.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And then if you get him talking about his father, the smile goes away.
Is that right?
The smile. Oh, how can you smile and talk
I'm wondering if he has somehow come to terms with it himself and gotten over it.
He's come to terms with
young.
it because he knows there's nothing he can do about it. And he's got younger siblings. So he doesn't want to cause horror to his family by, outing this father. And I mean, I don't know. It's so I've had a couple of, I'm going slowly forward with this situation, but the smile goes away.
Oh, yeah.
Because the facade can no longer hang on.
Well, you can't keep smiling
away.
when talking about that.
No, correct. And so I've had a few interesting conversations, but I was thinking, I love this kid, but the difference is, do I love him? Do I allow him to stay in his current state of mirage? Because he's living in kind of a mirage that he's put around himself. Like everything is okay. I'm okay. You're okay. As long as we're all happy and play happy music. And he's got the little speaker he hangs on his side. And I said, do me a favor. I said, turn that off. I go, how are you supposed to hear God? How are you supposed to hear the whisper of God when you have loud music drowning it out? And God's not going to yell at you. He's going to whisper. He's going to just say a little go or don't go or go to the left when you're thinking about going to the right. Satan's waiting just around the corner to the right, but to the left is paradise. How are you going to hear that? And he's like, well, yeah. He goes, but I like music. I go, yeah, you like music, but you're going to be stuck in this place because you're never going to move above and beyond where you're at because you're sticking yourself in the place by soothing your pain with music and a smiley face to the world and a phony, everything's okay with me. I'm fine. I'm happy. When down underneath the core is all this bubbling lava of pain, So I thought, how can I help him? I love him. How can I help him? And I asked that question to the God.
Yeah. To God.
To God. To the God. To God. And he didn't give me like words of an answer. He says back to me, then help him. And it's like, I wish I could help him. Then help him. It's like if you said, I wish I could make you dinner. Then make me some dinner. Just do it. Right. So I went, okay, but what and how? And, it's like the opportunity will come. Just be ready.
I just heard somebody being interviewed that was a lifelong atheist and just wasn't happy, started looking into all the religions, and long story short, becomes a Christian and learns, even praying was odd to him. But he says this prayer because he realized one day at a point when he was young and he was down on his luck and that he was helped. And he said to God, I'd like to help somebody out of a mess like that one day. I'd like to be able to help somebody. So he says, I drive out of my house. I go to the store or this place, and this guy comes, taps on my window. Hey, you know what? I really need some help. I mean, like right away. And he's thinking, what is this? He starts talking to the guy and he just says, I just need some food. And he says, okay, well, I'll take you.
Young guy, old guy, what?
I don't remember. It was just a guy.
Okay.
And so he ends up getting the guy some food, and he was like, was that just an answer to my prayer? And God says, you wanted somebody to be helped, and I'm telling you to do it. You do it. Like he said to you, then help him.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Well, so It's funny because one of our folks here on our chat room on Rumble, let's see, not everyone is caught up in culture, the Christian counterculture influences seem to be getting stronger and stronger. Sin can only take you so far until you tire of it, which is interesting. It's a good point because hell is like an ocean of sin that you wade into this world and you create your own sin hell in your life, cheating on your husband or wife, or, lying in business and getting caught and getting in trouble with the law, or just being, that person drinking and drugging and doing all these things. It's just like a hell. And even though when you start it, you don't start you don't light your clothes on fire because it's fun. At a certain point, you looked at whatever you did and you went, oh, this is going to be awesome. I want to do that. I'm going to get away with something. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to have a better woman if you're a man, or a better man if you're a woman. Or my kids are, bugging me. Just shut up. Get the hell out of my house. You throw them out because you want freedom. You're not getting freedom because now you're a slave to the fact that your son becomes a drug addict and maybe is going to kill you like Rob Reiner. My God, it's such a lie. And at a certain point, you realize that the liar, Satan, the liar lies. And you get tired of the lies. You get tired of the lies that you are living in amongst everybody you associate with, because birds of a feather, after all, flock together. So if you're a sinner, you're going to put yourself around the sinners because you feel a little better about yourself. And I used to say to my dad, compared to my friends, I'm like the best kid out there. My dad says, don't compare yourself to those kids. He says, compare yourself to Jesus Christ. Now, how do you feel? And I was like, oh, what do you say to that guy, right? So I remember going, yeah, well, he's right, because it's easy to be better than the rest of the world. It's easy to just be a notch above, but we shouldn't just want to be just better than the last guy. We should want to compare ourselves and be like Jesus. He set the example for us. He said, come with me. This is the way home. This is the way to the kingdom of heaven where our Father is. But you get tired of the lies. You get tired of the lifestyle. You get tired of the arguing. You get tired of the running from the police or the ex-wife or the kids that you brought into the world that maybe want to kill you like they did Rob Reiner. That $600 a year, evidently. So all I can say is that you're right. You get tired of sin. You never get tired of following Christ. It is just a beautiful, joyous, when you are able to do something that is, is anointed or whatever you want to call. I don't know how to put, when you know that it came from God and you realize you were a part of that and he used you for some kindness that he did. If you go to FHU.com, our website, and it talks about me, I went fishing with a guy in Mexico when I was at the lowest point of my life in my early 30s. Lowest point in many ways, high point another. I had a wife and 2 beautiful children, and then another one was born. I had 3, but money, I didn't have any money. The business changed. It fell apart. My life was sucking in many ways, but it was great over here. And he took me fishing and he caught a marlin, and I'm standing there watching, and you can watch this video because I told this story. And I'm watching him reeling in this giant marlins jumping out of the water. And I'm going, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. And he looks at me and he goes, ha ha. And he's like, here's the old man of the sea reeling in this giant marlin. And he hands me the fishing pole. And I'll never forget that as long as I live, because I was like, why? And so I make a point about what I was saying is when God uses you. So this guy was like, he sells mobile homes. He's a mobile home. He owned a mobile home sales company. you know, and he's like, he wasn't perfect in any way, shape, or form. He wasn't a preacher, a minister. He was just a guy. But God used him in that moment to show me, in that moment when he handed me that, I looked at the reel and I could feel the weight pulling against this giant marlin, and I could feel it, and I'm holding it with all my strength, and I'm looking at him, and he goes, reel it in. But I was still thinking about, why did you give this to
You're
me?
You're sharing with me, you know? We don't
gave,
share in my family.
No, we do.
I'm just kidding.
But the point is, why did you give this to me? And it's like, he didn't have to say, because I love you.
Yeah.
He didn't have to say, because God told me to give it to you. He just did something, spoke into his heart. God, give him the fishing rod. You've caught many fish. God had let him go fishing 1,000,000 times and catch many marlin. And that's what he said. I go, why did you? He goes, I've caught plenty of them here. You reel it in. You catch it. God put that in his heart. And what came across from him into me was, I am valued by somebody, instead, because I had no value as far as I was concerned. I was a broke idiot. No, you're not. When the $100 bill drops onto the ground, and you're in a horse stall, and the horse steps on it and goes into the poop, you know, do you just leave it there and say, oh, well, it's no good anymore? No, you pick it up. It's still worth $100. That's God. He's trying to pick us all up, because we're all still worth 100% of what we were born with. We'll be right back.
One comment.
Alan and Jan Masters talking about the value of your life, and who do you assign? That's a good one, Jan. Who do you assign the job to place a value on your life?
Right.
Do you try and place a value on it, and then you say, well, I'm not worth anything?
Well, if you assign the value, then...
Right. Or do you say, Lord, I have messed up. Do you value me? And then, you know, he's waiting with his arms open for you to reach out to him and say, help me. I'm at the lowest point of my life. I don't feel like I'm worth anything. And that's when he rejoices, because he's been waiting for you. What were you going to say?
Well, I will say, that point when a person realizes where their real value comes from, that is the turning point in your life. Because when you're young, your value comes from your family, good or bad, your friends. They think high of you, and then they don't think high of you. And then your value fluctuates. You know, your stock is hit the bottom, right? And I was talking to your friend how growing up in Hollywood and getting all this attention so young, when that's over, you feel like you're dying, because you're not getting that adulation anymore. So we're on this roller coaster in life of, who are we? Are we valued? Some days we feel like we're at the top of the mountain. Everybody loves us. And the next day we're at the bottom. But the turning point is when you really, and however God reveals this to each person is very different. Many people realize it through the death of Jesus, that he died for them, and that will be revealed to them personally. That sometime, someday in your life, and it may not be till you're 80 years old, patient endurance. I understand now finally, because I've been asking Jan, I've been asking God, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Why am I here? What is my dad, he used to say that, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And I remember thinking the same thing. I'm like, and you did too, right? Of course. You're like, what am I here? Why am I saving this? Why not just go out and have some fun? But a lot of it was ignorance. It was just ignorance. I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. So sure, I'll do it. You know, whatever. Sure, I'll try that. And all of a sudden, I now realize he will show me in his good timing. Yes. And in the meantime, I should constantly work on preparing myself for that great deed that God may have for me. Look at Donald Trump. Wait,
Look at the deed God gave to him.
That's
right?
true.
And he keeps on still opening his big mouth and screwing it up. But for the most part, I think he's doing a good job. But go ahead.
So you told a story about being on the fishing boat in Mexico and your friend handing you the fishing pole with the marlin on it and saying, "Here, you do it."
And just so you know, it's for the picture for your mind. This was a 17-foot, what's called a panga, just an open boat, like a big rowboat.
It's crazy.
Big rowboat. It was about 6 feet wide and 17 feet long. And there was just an outboard engine on the back and a Mexican guy, because we're in Mexico, steering us around, taking us out to go catch marlin. So it wasn't some big fancy fishing boat. It was like a rowboat, and we're catching a marlin. And I remember thinking to myself, like the Old Man of the Sea, if you ever seen that movie, the marlin was as big as the boat. It was ridiculous. But go ahead.
So
it wasn't as big.
So as you're telling the story, what is so obvious to me is that moment was representative of another moment for you, because
a mile marker
Jesus
in my life
is the fisher of men.
Yeah.
And he hands you the fishing pole. He says, "Do you want to fish with me?
Oh, yeah.
You want to do this with me?"
Yeah.
Like he said to the apostles, we're going to be a fisher of men.
So I sent this to one of my brothers here recently, and the response was, "Yeah, I saw that. Nice." He goes, "You're also a fisher of fish." And I was like, "Oh, was that a little slam, or was that just trying to be like wink, wink?"
But the bigger point, I want to just say this again, because I still think you haven't.
Because I like to fish too.
You haven't quite.
No, I get what you're saying.
Because when you had an experience in the courtroom of the Most High, and God said to you, or Jesus said to you, "How do you plead?" And you said, "Guilty." And he said, "Yes,
you have been found guilty.
Have been found guilty, and your sentence is you are forgiven."
You're forgiven.
Shocking sentence, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was like, what? I thought, here it comes. Here it comes.
Yeah, here comes the hammer.
Because even when you're standing in front of the Holy Spirit, and you know that you're in what I would describe to Jan, I'd never said those words in my life. I was in the court of the Most High.
Never even heard of that before.
Never
so I knew when you spoke it was true.
Like, I thought, okay, this is here I am, Judgment Day. Here comes
the hammer.
You've been found guilty, and you're like, oh crap, damn it. You're like ready for you're set free. You're
like,
you're forgiven and set free. Wait a minute, but I'm guilty. I said I was guilty.
Right.
I know, and you've been found guilty. But the
grace of God.
That is the grace of God.
But now let me finish the rest of the story.
You got 1 minute.
Then the Spirit says to you, "Now come with us and be a freer of souls." Here's the fishing pole. See?
Yeah.
It's not, it's being part. He wants us to participate in his plan. Like I've said before, God could do everything. But for some reason, he wants his children to be a part of his business. He wants the family business.
It's a Jewish thing.
It's a Jewish thing. He said, I'm about my Father's business.
Yeah.
And he wants all of us to, once we're in, to now bring others in.
The sad thing is, why can't the Jews see that? And maybe someday they will.
They will one day.
Someday
it is foretold they will.
All right, take a little break. We got another hour to go. I don't know if this is resonating with the tuning fork of your life, but hopefully it is. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Alan and Jan Masters, FHU.com for Foundation of Human Understanding. This is Perilous World Radio. FHU.com is where you can find that story. There's kind of a video. If you look on our website and it says, about Alan Masters, that video's there, which was actually,
Is it titled?
It's called Fisher of Men.
Oh, it is called Fisher of Men.
Yeah, that's why I think my brother says Fisher of Fish.
Well,
but the point is that was a Sunday talk. So when you hear me telling the story, I told the story just kind of like a longer version of what I told in the earlier hour. And when it was done, I found some pictures in the garage of the actual fishing trip that I went on in 1993.
Yeah.
And I was like, look at these old pictures. And so I said to Stephanie that works for us, that does all our video, and she does a lot of the stuff for this. She's going to produce this radio show and give it to the radio stations when we're done here. I said, can you make a video out of this with that story behind it? So she did a wonderful job. And I sent that to a friend of mine on, I don't know, Saturday. And he calls me up and he goes, I'm balling, man, I'm balling.
It really is an amazing video that came out of just some pictures and a story you told from your heart.
She grabbed some video. So the marlin that is in, if you guys go to and watch this video, the marlin that is in the video leading up to the end where you actually see the marlin we caught is not near as big as the marlin we actually caught. Right. The marlin we caught was 9 feet long. Wow. So when we caught that marlin and we pulled it into the boat after it had expired, we'll say that, it was literally in between.
How do you even fit it in the boat?
Right, because it's only like, I'm going to say the boat was 6 feet wide because it was only 17 feet long. It took all three of us to pull it in. It must have weighed, 200 or 300. It was actually, I remember it was almost 300 pounds. Wow. Anyway, we pulled it in the boat and it just laid in the middle of the boat going from front to back. But a marlin has a sword. It's like a swordfish. Right. It has like a 3 foot long sword that is it's got like sandpaper on it, and it's amazing. And I've seen them use that sword to fish. They actually, they chase a fish and then they use that sword and they they shake their head to the side, which knocks a fish out. And then they just swallow it. They just keep swimming and swallow it. So, but the point that I was making is that this fish was so huge. And I remember looking at it and I had the same feeling about when I think about processing one of my cows, which means to kill it and slaughter it and butcher it, that this huge, beautiful fish it didn't give its life. We just took its life and we're going to eat it. There was so much meat that I had taken a huge, the one thing was they said, make sure you bring a big ice chest because when we catch, which we will catch a lot of fish in Mexico, you want to bring your fish home. This fish was so huge that we had like 100 extra pounds of these giant, huge chunks of marlin. And to this day, and right here in my office, where is it? It's right on the other thing. We can't see it from here. I went into town because we didn't know what to do with all this extra meat. I went into town with my ice chest and all these giant pieces of meat were wrapped just like you would buy in a, if you went to Albertsons or wherever to buy a giant chunk of swordfish and they were, like 4 pounds giant steaks. And I went into all these little stores that were in this little town called Loreto, Mexico is where we went fishing. If you want to go to a beautiful little fishing village. And I haven't been there in 30 years, but I walked up and down I was rolling my ice chest up and down and I traded it for t-shirts. I traded it for all kinds. I go and I go, you want some marlin? And they go, marlin, marlin, come in, marlin. You catch today? Yes. Oh yeah. It was money.
And you had none at that time.
And my good Jewish nature, I had none. Right. And I wanted to bring home a bunch of little souvenirs and things and T-shirts. And I have them all to this day. 30 years later, I still my Mexico T-shirts and my Mexico pottery and stuff that I brought home. It's like, it was such an amazing trip that I don't even know how to explain it. So many good things happened. And not sure why I was telling that particular story, but the pictures, the fish that we caught was just gigantic. Now somebody says, I don't know, I can't align with, the fishing because I don't go fishing. I buy my fish at the grocery store. It's actually really good to go fishing, to go hunting, to, see an animal processed. It changes the way you think about the food you're eating instead of, this is the delicious piece of orange salmon, the color. But when you catch a fish and you clean it and you actually see what it's
The
been
life.
eating and the blood, yes, coming out of it and the guts, and you're dealing with all that, it changes you. It says, oh my gosh, this thing, I took its life. I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to waste any of it. So all I can say is that these stories that I tell, maybe I tell and you respond in our chat room with, I've never been fishing. I've never been hunting. Put that on your bucket list. I remember I killed a rabbit when I was a little boy. I shot a rabbit in the field and I came running back. I was holding it by the ears. Came running back and showed my dad with my pellet gun. And I go, look, I got a rabbit. And my dad says, why did you kill it? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just, I was out there pinging away, shooting tin cans, and there it was. And bam, I got him. Look at this. He goes, all right.
Are you going to eat it?
You killed it for no reason whatsoever. Nothing wrong. Little bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
He says, now you go out there and get my fillet knife and you clean it and we're going to eat it.
He didn't want to waste the life.
He didn't want to waste the life. And I remember going, gross. Because of course I had cleaned a million fish.
Did you end up eating it?
Fish are cold-blooded. This is a warm-blooded animal. Yes, we ate it.
So you ate it.
So I remember cleaning this thing going, oh my gosh, it's so different.
Yeah.
The smells are different.
Yeah.
You clean a fish, it smells like a fish.
Yeah.
You clean a warm-blooded animal, it's a different smell. I remember going, oh God, it's like just the experience, you guys.
A great lesson, though.
Yes.
That he took that opportunity.
And
he didn't miss the moment.
That's exactly
and just
right.
go, oh, don't do that anymore.
Didn't miss the moment is the key. And if you're playing all the music, young guys and gals, and the moment comes and passes you right on by, and it was there, but you didn't hear it because Jingle Bells was playing in your head, those are the moments of your life that you've lost, and they may not come back around again. They may, but it may be decades before something comes back around again. So, and I was talking to that young kid. I remember, I told him, I said, you know what? Learn for more reasons than what I just told you about. Learn to not play music while you're working. I said, first of all, think about this logically. You're going to be more in tune with what you're doing. And if you are being paid by somebody to do a job and you're playing music and all this, and maybe they like music, you can talk about guitars and music and what's your favorite music. That's all good and fine. But the reality is while you're talking, he's paying you to sit there and have that conversation. And maybe, just maybe, he doesn't really care about it. He'd really like to get a better deal on whatever you're doing. So keep on working. Work diligently. This is what I said to him. Work diligently, work hard with a good attitude. When somebody says, hey, so-and-so, can you help me? You say, yes, sir. What do you need? I said, there's a time to be happy because you're happy to help. You're happy to serve. I said, because as a boss, I don't want you being distracted from the job that I gave you. And if I think you're going to be distracted, because I have one guy that screws up everything because he's distracted in his head all the time by his own misery. I said, I'm not going to give you anything important to do because you're showing me that you don't really care about my job, that you just want to be happy and have your music playing and you just want to be in a good mood and you hate working anyway. So you might as well just, but I said, that guy, he ain't going to get the important jobs. I'm going to get the guy that is kind of looking at the job for a minute and going, I think I'm going to do this and I want to show you what I want to do. And this is my idea how I should do it. And then you go, yeah, but you're the expert. And he goes, well, I just want to bounce it off you, make sure you're okay with it. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you showing me what you're going to do. So now I have a better understanding. That's the guy that's going to get the high paying job. That's the guy that's going to get me thanking him at the end for his craftsmanship and for sometimes not playing music while he was working because I know that he was focused on my job and I pay him happily. We're going to take a little break and come right back with more of a Perilous World Radio. Alan and Jan Masters, I guess I'm on a roll here.
A rock and roll.
A rock and roll. Do you want to say something, Jan?
No.
Huh?
Eyes to See says there are so much singing and music in heaven. OMG. Yes, there is. But to your point, there's a time and a place for things. and you don't really want people on the job.
And I would say that's
being
a big
distracted.
that's a big guess anyway, because I mean, we don't know what heaven is
Depending
like.
on people that have been there and heard it.
We don't know what it's like, though. We really don't.
Well, it actually says in the Bible there is.
I'm just telling. We don't
Singing.
know that
Wait a
it's
minute.
Fall
Okay, eyes to see. We're gonna get on this.
Go ahead.
God created music. The devil abused it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, no question about it. But the point that I'm making is workers. I have electricians on my job site today. 3 electricians. I have about 5 drywall guys putting up drywall in this building. I have 2 guys that are working for me full time, fixing floors and moving things around, taking trim off and preparing for these guys that are right behind them. Then right behind that is a crew coming in, going to do texture on the drywall. And then right behind that comes the painters, which are over at the other building we're working on with the tile guy. So before I came to do this show, I went and met with all of them and gave them all directions for an hour and a half that I'll be gone, an hour and 45 minutes. I literally was.
You were conducting your symphony.
And the reason is because they're working for me.
Right.
They're working at my pleasure. I will sign the check to pay them for their work. So I went in and I saw one of the guys who puts noise canceling earphones in his ears. I couldn't see these noise canceling earphones. I saw him doing something wrong. I mean, he's taking up some flooring that I need to repair another part of flooring in a 115-year-old building. So he's just bang, 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 and he's tearing up the floor. But you can't reuse that 115-year-old flooring if it's destroyed. So I said, hey, don't do it like that. You're doing it wrong. He ignored me.
And you didn't know he had the earbuds.
He ignored me. And he's like, bang, bang, bang.
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
like, hey, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing? And he's ignoring me. And I thought he was mad at me. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I go, he's got to have music blaring in his ears. So I reached over and I tapped him and he looks at me, takes his earphones out. His in-ear noise cancel. He doesn't hear me saying a word. I go, you didn't hear a word I just said, did you? And he goes, no. He goes, I got noise canceling ear and I got music on. He goes, I don't like, I don't like having to hear all the stuff that's going on. And I said, but the problem is you're doing the job wrong. And he goes, well, I'm doing the best I can. And I go, hold on a second. I got the other guy that's older and more talented and more of a craftsman, right? And so I go, hey, come over here. I said, you see how these pieces of wood are getting destroyed? I go, we have to preserve this wood.
Did he know?
Yes,
you were going to preserve it?
Yes, we're moving it from here to over there. But he was tearing it up. He goes, I'm doing the best I can. The best he can is not the best that can be. Right?
Right.
The excuse is I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
Instead of saying, well, how would you like me to do it?
Well, he wasn't. He just thought, that's it.
Yeah.
You got to destroy it to get it up. Well, if I was going to destroy it, I wouldn't have taken it up in the first place.
Right.
I'll just buy new wood. But I said to the other guy, can you look at this? And the guy says, yeah. He goes, you know how they first of all, you have to have a knowledge of how they put hardwood floor in. They nail it. There's a tongue and groove, and they put a nail inside at an angle in the tongue and groove so the next piece fits in and hides the nail. So the nail is going in at an angle. So the guy comes over and he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, you're doing it from the wrong side. He goes, you're fighting every nail. He said, go from the other side, and that way you can push the nail out, and it won't destroy the piece of wood. And he goes, let me show you. And he goes, bung, bung, bing, bang, 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 and it comes right out. And the guy goes, oh, my gosh. I said, but you weren't doing the best that could be done. You were doing the best you knew how. You didn't bother asking, how do you do this without destroying it?
Right.
See, that's a man that is too prideful to ask, and most men won't even ask directions.
Right.
They won't, and let alone, so he's not a craftsman. Now he becomes, because what's more important than asking for direction is to be comfortable inside of his head while he's on the job listening to his favorite music. So anyway, there's a lesson to all
But
these
don't
things.
blame it on the music.
No, but the
It's
music.
just
If I laid down the law and said I don't want any music played on my job site,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be a problem anymore, would it?
Right.
That wouldn't
But
be
would
the
he still
problem.
have done the wood the same way?
I don't know because
So-
listen, we don't have a firewall for the mind, and especially it goes one step further. Satan puts up not a firewall, but a wall of fire between you and the truth. And usually it's going to be distraction, music, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever it is. It's going to be
Anything,
a distraction, a wall of fire, so you can't see God. You can't see the truths standing on the other side of the wall of fire. It's blocking you. And I hate to say it, I see too many people in this world are so busy distracting themselves with everything from food to music. And you can say, well, what's wrong? You have to eat. And music is beautiful. There's music in heaven. Don't give me that excuse. There's music in heaven. What has that got to do with the hell that you're living in and distracting yourself from ever getting to heaven with beautiful music that makes you feel good instead of being good and doing good? So I've heard that excuse a million times about music in heaven.
So are you saying
I'm just telling you.
there's no place for it? And
I'm
it's no
not
good?
saying
What
that.
Are you
No,
saying?
I'm not saying that. There's a time and a place for everything.
Okay, that's all.
And the time and the place is when you are doing something that takes concentration and maybe know-how and you don't know how, and
Agreed.
you're just like, well, I'm doing the best I can, ba-boom, ba-bang. And, he came in with a sledgehammer the other day. I said, no, we're not going to sledgehammer these walls down. We're going to cut them apart and take them out in big pieces. He looked at me kind of like, are you serious? And I'm like, you're damn right I'm serious. I said, you know me, I'm a hoarder. I'm keeping everything. I don't like to throw away anything. When I go to the dump, I stand there and go, oh my God, look at that. And look at that. I want that. And you're not allowed to take anything out of the dump. When you go to the dump and it's just a dump,
Have you ever?
Oh, I always grab stuff, throw it back into the dump truck. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. They're so lazy, they don't want to put it on social media for free. They'd rather throw it away. That's the world we live in today. It's just sad. What are you going to say? You got your hand covering something.
No, it was just
Come on.
doodling. No, I
No
got
doodling.
nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
Well, I'm just telling you that I have learned, my dad used to say, when the hands are at work, the mind is at ease. Okay, that's thing number one. And he said that when you're working, he said, that's when you will learn things because your mind is at ease. It's almost a form of meditation. You will learn and hear things that you wouldn't otherwise if you drown it out with that music. And I adhered to that.
I can't work and listen to music. I can't do both at the same time.
We'll take a little break and talk more about this. Be right back. Alan and Jan Masters, this thing about music, Perilous World Radio, by the way, FHU.com, this thing about music. So Jan loves music.
I do.
She
I
loves
appreciate music. I do.
She loves music.
But
Okay.
I see how it can be abused. But I see the good and the
I
bad.
don't care if you love music. It's your choice.
Yeah.
And then there's other people here that are talking about music.
I'm a musical person.
And music in heaven and all this kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Music in the Bible. King David played music, wrote songs to God.
Nothing wrong with that. Different time,
It's an
different place.
expression.
But I'll just tell you, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's
I know.
nothing
I know.
wrong with it.
Oh.
What's wrong with it is the same thing that's what's wrong with eating a dozen bananas. It might kill you. What's wrong with drinking 2 gallons of water could damage you.
Anything can be abused.
All things
right?
in moderation. But there is a time and a place for things like sex. There's a time and a place for things like music.
Correct.
And a person has to be mindful of these.
Yeah.
And most people actually are going against what they're trying to be, which is mindful, living on a higher plane of thoughtful and purposeful life when they're drowning it out with music. And so I have lived a life. My dad came to me when I was 19 years old. I'm working, maybe I was 18, working on this car, and there was some music playing in the background. I couldn't even hear it. It was like, I couldn't hear the music anyway. But when the noise would stop from the sanders I was using or whatever, just sanding a car to get ready to paint it. The music was there. So there was no calm, quiet moments to be able to reflect on life or consider, the job I'm doing, because the noise stops. I look at it, the music's playing in the background. I'm distracted. I'm not ever going to get ahead. I want to get ahead in life at that time in my life. So when my dad says to me, he says, you should leave that music alone. He says, it's nothing but crap anyway.
That's true.
The words are taking you towards sensual things and drugs and
he was
anger and judgment and resentment and all these things. Most of the words are angry words. And what is that like acid rock, or what do they call it? Punk or acid. I don't even know what kind of music there are. All kinds of crazy music. Usually the funny ones are the country music, because it's telling a story and they're usually pretty innocent and simple. But it doesn't matter. It's a distraction that I, as a young man, didn't need. And I feel like I was way better off without it.
Well, let me say this.
Just telling you how I felt.
No, your experience is correct, and your dad was correct. You were brought up in a time where music was part of the indoctrination of the culture. The music was the one more, like movies, music was co-opted for all these things.
Right.
So your dad was correct. Now, we aren't living in a time where, God was the focus of things in culture at all. Everything was anti-God. Mm-hmm. So, somebody was saying about the Psalms that David wrote were actually meant to be sung. Mm-hmm. They were songs from the heart of faith to God, and worship is a song from the heart. So there's a place for these things, but in your time growing up, it was used to destroy the minds and distract.
Same as today.
Yeah, correct.
And I'm not
you
talking
find
about
what you look for.
I'm not talking about like the Psalms. This person says the Psalms in the Bible are fundamentally a collection of sacred songs.
Right.
I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm just talking about when you are going about your day. Let me just clarify. Yeah. When you are going about your day and you're working, because another person says, I listen to music probably 30% of the time at work. I also listen to sermons and sometimes silence. I think it's okay to listen to music if it's done the right way, same as you enjoy food. Oregon Ed. I would agree with that.
Or the same as you sit and watch Fox News.
I would agree with that. All things in moderation.
Right.
But unless you are an entrepreneur and you work for yourself, I think that for the most part, you do an injustice to put on a big old boom box and turn on a bunch of loud music that is offensive. I tell my guys all the time. I walk onto the job site and here's blang, blang, blang. You know what they call it? Heavy metal.
Yeah.
No,
that's a disturbance.
I literally go over and turn it off. And I said, I'll tell you what, that one went too far. So no music. I don't want to hear the music. I'm here working with you guys. I don't want to hear that crap. That is offensive. It's ugly. And you are pumping it raw sewage right inside your head. And you're going to make a mistake. And I'm telling you what, it's going to cost you, because it's not going to cost me. You're distracting yourself.
Okay.
I am on my guys like this.
This to
this
death.
is such an important point. This is the whole world. And everybody here is listening to this and they have their points, which is...
We're just making sure you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's all.
Which is... the Bible music that you're talking about, Psalms, these things, that's all good and fine. But you don't sit around and sing songs all day long to God. Otherwise, he's going to go, hey.
But you might want to do it
now. Get out there and
for a half hour if you want.
Whatever. There you go.
Know what I mean?
That's more like kind of like personal prayer if you want to.
Right.
That's a whole other angle. I'm talking about day in and day out. These people distract themselves endlessly. And then the guy will stand up, this one particular guy, and he has this little puffing machine, little huffer and puffer.
Yeah.
What do they call that? Vaping.
Yeah.
And he'll sit there and blow smoke all over the place. And when he gets mad at one of the other guys, I see he'll walk around the corner, and then you won't see anything until there's this puff of smoke.
Yeah.
And you know that he's distracting him. He hates that guy. He's hating on him. So I'll walk around the corner and I say, the more you hate that guy, The more you hate him, you're taking a poison pill. Every time you puff on that, you're taking a poison pill hoping it kills the other guy, your enemy. I said, you're killing yourself. And the guy goes, I don't care. I don't like him, blah, blah, blah. So I am literally dealing with this stuff all day long. And it's like assisted suicide. This music obsession and the puffing and huffing of the the vape machines
it's
and
your job
smoking
site,
pot.
and you get to set the tone for the job site.
I would do it even if it wasn't my job site.
But
I would say the same thing because it's what I believe.
What I'm saying
it's the core
is,
of who I am.
if you were working for someone and that boss had the music playing,
He says, if you saw Gene Kelly singing in the rain, would it infuriate you? No, I'd laugh because when the song was over, he'd probably get back to work. It's like
now life is not only about work. I'm sorry, I just got to say, there's more to life than work.
Listen, you tell that to the workers out there that have to work hard to pay their bills every month.
You got to work, but it's not only
By
about
the sweat
work.
off your brow shall you earn your bread.
Oh boy, we're just going to fight
no,
today.
No, the reason why
because
I'm saying this is because
there's a place for everything.
this is why people go to church on Sunday. And this is why when they get home from work, they can put on some nice music or read the Bible. But when you're at work, and that is
Nobody's disagreeing with you about
You
work. No, I'm not.
Well, listen to me then. Listen.
Okay, we're going to duke it out
For a moment,
guys.
I want you to be quiet and listen. Otherwise, I'll mute
I've
you.
been.
Okay. Now for sure you are because I muted her mic. The point that I want to make is that we work the vast majority of our lives. We work. We have to work. You retired folks, you don't have to work anymore. But the workers of this world have to work harder today than they ever have because you now have AI. And so when the boss comes around and he's looking to get rid of one or more of his employees, who is he going to look at? The guy sitting there listening to the music, going, doing his job, whatever, zoning the world out, or the one that is intently focused on doing a fantastic job every time. This is such an important job, and I really don't want you to shut me down because I'm the worker. I go out and work.
I'm not shutting you down.
I go out and work every day at 65 years old, not because I'm trying to get ahead, but I also am employing a lot of people.
Did I say work isn't important?
No, but do me a favor.
It is important.
I'm going to ask you to stop now, okay? Just stop about it because these are very important things. This could save somebody's career. This could save somebody's life because if they can refocus and stop focusing on
the distractions.
I
agree with that.
And focus in on what's important, which is I don't want to lose my job. I need this money. My bills are going to come due again in a few more days or weeks, not months, because every month all the bills come due. And I want to be able to shine a light on where you may be about to lose your job if you're making all these same excuses, just so you know. You may be about to lose your job. You should shut that radio off and you should focus because when the boss walks by and he says, how come you're not playing? He may say to you, how come you're not playing your music? And you may say to him, this is what I would say, because I realize that I want to do the best job humanly possible for you, the boss. And you know what? I don't want to be distracted by music or anything because I know jobs are hard to come by these days and I want to keep my job. You know he's going to keep that guy. He's going to keep that one. And I'll tell you, when General Motors went bankrupt many years ago, I don't know how many years ago it was, like 10 years ago, I got a phone call. General Motors owed me a lot of money at that time. And I see on the news, on Fox News, General Motors files for bankruptcy, so on and so forth. And Chess Dude says, you're too willful, Alan. Listen, I'm making a very, very important point. Could save your life. If you're retired, turn the radio off because it doesn't matter. This is for people that have to work a day to pay their bills. The point is, when General Motors went bankrupt, I got a phone call from the agency, and they said, just so you know, we're going to make sure you get paid. Why are they going to make sure I get paid? Because somebody in there saw something in me that they wanted to make sure that I kept going. So the question is, what will make you different from the rest of the people that you're competing with? This is it. And I notice it's funny because I know Nick is a music lover and he's like, enough. This is an important point. He says, no music on the job rant. Oh, believe me, I do. These are important points that you never heard from your dad. I heard it from mine, and it was life-saving for me, life-changing for me. Listen to the music when you're off the job. Listen to the music when you're alone. But learn to focus on doing the best job you can. My dad said to me, if you're going to be a ditch digger, be the best ditch digger. And that's what I've always tried to do. All right, we'll take a break, and I'll rant some more on the other side. There you go. That's my rant. Listen, I'm passionate about things. A lot of you folks are passionate about music. I am not passionate about music because I see music as a skateboard, and people, they jump on that skateboard and then they start going downhill, and they're going downhill so fast it starts to wobble, and then wham, they're out of control. They crash and they burn, and they're like, what happened? Oh, I was riding that skateboard. It looked fun, didn't it? It looked really fun. But you didn't think about what is, this skateboard capable of? What am I capable of on this skateboard? There's so many things in life that we don't think about. And some of them are right in front of your face. I have so many young friends, young guys, they're all sex-crazed maniacs. Every one of us men, sex-crazed maniacs. Sex feels good. Why not? Let's do it. But you know what? What does the skateboard think about that? Does it want to go downhill at 70 miles an hour with you on it? Maybe not. All things in moderation. And you know what? Dakota Johnny says, music is evil. I don't think music is evil. It's the evil person, the evil inside the person that uses the music to escape from hearing the truth from God.
Yeah,
That's
they can
what
use
I'm
music,
saying.
they can use alcohol, they can use their phone, they can use anything.
We're talking about music. Don't distract. We're talking about music in particular. Now, Jan likes to listen to music. She likes to listen to
I don't know what was wrong with my point I just made.
Listen, the point that I'm making is I'm talking about music. Mm-hmm. That when you listen to those music shows where they're doing competitions, right? She enjoys that. Okay, I can watch it for a few minutes, but I got to tell you, it's hard for me to sit through a whole show because I just think all the words that are trapped inside of the capsule of that tune are taking me away from the ability for me to be clear thinking. I guess, what does my dad used to say? Be a clear thinking individual. I am taking on somebody else's ideas and thoughts and through the song and the tune and the rest. And I'm like taking it. And that's where I am right now. That's where you are. You are encapsulated into that little world, that little bubble, the music where the song keeps repeating in your head. And I'm just telling you, my dad said one time, he says, somebody asked him, what do I got to do to be closer to God? And the answer was, what are you willing to give up to be closer to God? And I would suggest that if you love music, try and give it up for a little while. Watch what happens. You will bring Satan out of the blackest corners of your soul because he is going to tell you how much you love music, how much makes you feel good, and who the hell is that Alan Masters? Listen, music is a drug.
Anything
just like
can be an idol.
Music is a drug just like anything else, but it is so well disguised. It is Mr. Disguisio. It takes you away from who you are. And I'm not talking about, all music, but it's, for the most part, the world is addicted to being away from God. What are you willing to give up to be closer to God? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Maybe it's some of the little nice things you like. I remember thinking when the pandemic was here, well, what if we can't get coffee? Oh, I love coffee. Can I even survive without coffee? And then the toilet paper caper. Well, what are we going to wipe our butts with? I'm going out and buying a truckload of toilet paper. It's like, you know what? Life is funny. You need to take a good look at the simple things of life. Can you do without sugar? Man, that's probably my biggest thing is I have a sweet tooth. So for me, sugar. For you, maybe music. Maybe it's music and sugar. But we need to learn that if we're going to try to get closer to God, we got to leave some of these addictions behind. And I have friends, they cannot get into a car till they set the station or put in a CD or hook their phone up to that music so they can not be without it. It's like the lifeblood. It's oxygen. It is the oxygen. And I know I keep hearing the same thing again. David composed and played, sang music. Was he evil? No, but you're not David, and neither am I. My brother David is David, though. He likes music. You know what I'm saying? All right. Kim says, Alan, use stevia like your mom and dad. Thanks, Kim. Listen, all I can tell you is that I'm passionate about this, and I understand my father's teachings in this regard more today about music than I ever have. And I used to just go along with it, go along to get along when I was young. But then as I was obedient to my dad, God revealed to me that be still and know doesn't mean be still, play some good music and know. It means be still, be quiet. And we all need more of it. Blaise Pascal said, all of mankind's problems stem from his inability to sit in a room quietly by himself. That doesn't mean quietly with nice music, piano music playing in the background. So I've made my rant and I'm serious about it. And you know I am. You know I am. All right. We got 1 minute to rebut that if you want.
No.
I'm going to go straight over to my job site, say, turn off that music. What are you doing? How can you think without it? But, listen, I'm not saying you can't listen to music, but boy, I would watch it. Watch what it does to you. Just like sugar, just like drugs, just like morphine, just like anything that alters your state of being. I don't want to have an altered state of being. I don't want it. I want to move closer to God every day in all things that I do. And if that is to say some things that are like Sugar, the Bitter Truth. Oh, that's a good one. Sugar, the Bitter Truth on YouTube. If that means doing away with some of these things in our lives to be able to be more clear thinking individuals, music's a big one. Okay. Anything else? Final moments?
No. Done.
Okay. We're going to have a big old fight. I can tell you about music after the show. We'll see you next time right here on Perilous World Radio. All right, guys. That's it. Busy day ahead for me and you, hopefully. See you next time.